Hi, and welcome to December and Inspired Messages Monday. Sue here, and as usual, there is a lot going on, and December is going to be no exception. So, but anyway, at the end of the year, or shall I say, at the end of the year, the beginning of a new year, we always feel we have the opportunity to wipe the slate clean and start afresh at the start of a new year. So we're all kind of feeling that, aren't we? We're all hoping and feeling that 2025 is, going to be a great year. And I think we have to keep our vibe up. I keep seeing videos talking about it. I think it's very important that we, um, you know, exercise, we eat the right foods, we sleep at the right time, we don't have too much alcohol, and, try and be kind of balanced, and I know it's very difficult in some parts of the world to do that. I know I realise that, um, and it's not easy for many people at this time in history. But anyway, before all that, we have a new moon today on the 1st of December, and it is in the sign of Sagittarius. So obviously, new moons are a time for planning our goals for the next 28 days, which will blossom in the coming months. And you can write a list of what your goals are, meditate on it, set the stage by creating a sacred space with incense or a candle and music, and put your intention out to the universe. And Sagittarius, it is a mutable fire sign, and it's ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is the planet of opportunity. It's considered to be to bring us lots of opportunities and benefits. So this is really a good time when we move into the sign of Sagittarius, and you know, uh, Jupiter is also rules, always connected to the spiritual side of life and philosophy, and he wants to know the truth. And the sign of the arrow, which is the glyph for Sagittarius, is searching for the truth. That's what it means. And if you are a Sagittarian, you will probably be on a course. You're probably planning new courses for next year because they want to study, they want to know what's going on, and it rules the higher mind as well. So, it's a really upbeat sign, and so it should be an upbeat time of year. So, Sagittarius wants to expand and explore everything, and it pushes us to think that anything is possible. And this new moon is a time when you can visualize your new life, even if circumstances don't seem right at the moment. You need to ask the universe, and then the universe will go to work to help you get what you want. So, that being said, I'm going to show you one of my vision maps, which you probably can't see, but it's got July 2020. I'm going to just put it up and let you have a look at that. Okay. So I spoke to my son in July 2020, and nobody could travel, nobody could go anywhere. And he said to me, "Oh, we're never going to see each other again." I said, "Well, that's not going to happen." And I wrote this vision map with a plane on it, and it's got an island with palm tree and with a Thai house on it, and a house down below, and it's got my family as stick people. Hopefully, you can see all that, and basically, I had no idea that I was going to move to Thailand at that time. It wasn't in my remit, so you have to be careful what you put out there, because this is not the only one I've done, and it always comes true. So if you're going to do a vision map, make sure it's what you want. You have to tell the universe. The universe can't give you what you want unless you ask the universe. Yeah, okay. So that was on my wall in my office. Well, since July 2020, and I've obviously brought it with me. And I realised that my new house is very similar to the house on the vision map. It's got water. I've got a water feature outside, and it's got a path with flowers and trees. And I mean, the house just looks like, it's a representation of my new house. So I know this works. I have actually taught it. I've been teaching this particular creative visualization since the 90s. So I don't really teach anything that doesn't work. And so if you want something, I think it's a really good idea to do it on a new moon. So a Sagittarius new moon would be perfect, and obviously we're going to be having um, uh, New Year, and so we'll be making New Year's resolutions, and we will have another new moon, and it will be on the 30th of this month. So we've got two new moons, and obviously the next new moon will be in the sign of Capricorn, which is very good for structuring and planning. Okay, so my kind of thoughts on it is if you want something, then you need to put it out there. So yeah, have a go, have a go. However, Mercury and Jupiter are both retrograde, okay, which suggests a slowing down of their energies, but it does give you time to really think about what you want in your life. And also in this new moon chart, we still have the Pluto opposite Mars, although not exact yet. We have to take note of the high energy it brings to the collective and the world and personally. And actually, it will be exact on January the 2nd. And it's a bit like a pressure cooker. It's about, because these energies are so strong. You've got Pluto, which is so strong, and then opposite Mars, which is the god of war. So you've got this, this like tightrope, or, when you have a what the tug of war. It's that kind of thing that's going on. So we've got no idea what's going to happen, but we know that there's tension there. And if you're taking notice of world events, you will already be feeling the tension, I would think. And we also have in this chart Jupiter square Saturn, and a square is always a challenge. And Jupiter wants to expand, because I've just talked about Jupiter, and go big, and Saturn wants the opposite, to hold back and to set boundaries. So, there'll be a push and pull feel for that. On a personal level, you can feel restless and uncertain about the future. So don't rush into it. If you do need to make a decision, take your time. The challenge here, really, with this square is to increase in some areas of your life and cut back in others. And so it's kind of not easy to make the right decision. But this isn't exact in this chart, but it still needs to be taken into account. But it will be exact on December the 24th. Now, we also have a grand trine in this new moon chart between Mars, okay, the new moon, the North Node, okay, all in fire signs, which is action, okay, and the North Node is the direction we should be moving towards. So, and a trine is lovely. So I feel there will be more movement in the right direction for everybody, So it's not, obviously we always have good things and the opposite going on at the same time, and it's how we navigate through it. As as a as a human, really. But if the negative things are happening, there's always going to be a positive coming along. So we also have the same mystic rectangle that we had in the full moon chart, okay, in November, between Jupiter, the planet of expansion, philosophy, the higher mind, beliefs, and Chiron, the planet of healing and wounds, and Mercury, the planet of communication, and Black Moon Lilith, who stands up for justice. So Mercury will talk about what's going on and communicate it to the masses, and that's if you're listening. So I'm actually putting a link to a video which covers health and wounding, because obviously Chiron's to do with wounding. And this video is Neil Oliver in the UK, and he's interviewing an American guy called Edward Dowd. And this guy is a statistician, and the interviews about what happened with health over the last few years. It's very good, very informative, and I think well worth looking at. But anyway, with this mystic rectangle, we couldn't have a better configuration, obviously, to help us, at this time in history. And if you want to know what mystic rectangle is, go back to last month's video, as I explain it there. I don't want to go into it again because I've got so much to say. Okay. So, first of all, we've had Pluto has finally moved out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, and will be there for 20 years. And it was in Capricorn since 2008, and immediately we had the financial crash. And while Pluto has been in Capricorn, it's been dismantling the way we live, really, because the old ways are not working, and so they have to be they have to be taken away, they have to be dismantled. So that's what's been happening since 2008. And now Pluto's gone into Aquarius. It's going to be there for just under 20 years, and it's a very different energy, Aquarius. And so I think we're going to see something maybe major that taps into this Aquarian energy, like we did straight away with the financial crash in 2008. But Pluto in Aquarius connects to more protests, which we're seeing around the world. I've seen something happening in, I think it was Germany and the Netherlands. Oh, so much going on. It's unbelievable. And much of this is not covered in the the evening news, shall we put it like that. And you have to go and find it with alternative media, which is a shame, really. But that's what's happening at the moment. So I do advise you to go and have a look what's happening, if you're interested, of course. But anyway, the farmers in the UK had a massive protest as the new government is implementing an inheritance tax here in the UK. And what happens when a farmer passes away? They have to pay an inheritance tax. And this means by the time the tax bill has been paid, the family member who is taking over the farm cannot afford to run the farm. And then they have to sell, and the corporations will buy the farmland, and they won't use it for farming. They'll use it for maybe building houses, making money, who knows. But then if we've not got the farmers, then we're going to be short of food. And that's why there was a protest. And obviously, these farmers, they work so, so hard. They work in all weathers, they're up early in the morning, they're there for the animals. And they've been, they are special people. They really are. And so, supporting the farmers, I think, is important. So I put a video link connected to this protest, which involves Jeremy Clarkson, who is a kind of well, you know, kind of a celebrity in the UK, and he's become a prominent figure due to his programme Clarkson's Farm. So obviously Jeremy Clarkson knows all about you know, what's going on because he's had his own farm. But that's just one protest. I mean, there's so many going on. Another thing that's happening in the UK is that a petition that was put out by a pub landlord and now has over 3 million votes, as the public are really, really unhappy with the new government and what they are doing or not doing for the country. Um, that's huge. I mean, people are saying it won't make any difference, but I think it does send a message, you know, that people are unhappy. And something else that's happening in the UK is a group of people have put something together called the Pledge. And this is kind of like a modern day Magna Carta. Okay, so it's been put together by some influential people. One of them is Andrew Bridgen, that want to bring a fairer society back to the UK. And I have put a link to a video which explains about the pledge because they've asked everybody to sign it because that's really, really important. They've asked people to share it and to sign it. So that's what I'm doing. So Pluto in Aquarius will shake everything up. The planet that rules Aquarius is Uranus. I've talked about it a lot. Wherever Uranus is, there is surprises, rebellion, and Pluto does want to annihilate anything that's no longer working. So, you know, it is going to shake everything up and we'll continue to open our eyes to the corruption that has been part of the fabric of society for a very, very long time. Pluto will also reveal other things like how we should be living here on the planet and how important water is and how it connects to us as a species. And I put a link to a brilliant video that shows how we are connected to the new and the full moons, where Pam Gregory, I'm sure many of you know Pam Gregory, she interviews Veda Austin on crystallography, and it's absolutely fascinating because she's taken some photographs of the new and the full moon, and the pictures from that tell a story. And obviously, what it really showed was that because have so much water in us, that the new and full moons really affect us. And so that's really how important it is to do your new moon wishes, you know, sitting in the moonlight and writing, you know, what you want, and on the full moon, what you don't want, what you want to remove from your life. So watch that because it is absolutely fascinating. I really love that video. So moving to the full moon, which is on the 15th of December, the first one, it's at 23 degrees of Gemini, obviously ruled by Mercury. And obviously the Mars opposition to Pluto is in this chart, along with the Jupiter square Saturn. So we still have the tension bubbling underneath. And the Sun is quincunx Uranus, which causes irritation and more surprises. But we do have a grand trine between Mercury, Mars, and the North Node, which should help with communication. And Chiron, the planet of healing and wounds, is in the third house of communication, opposite to the Black Moon Lilith in the ninth of justice. So we could see more information coming to the surface about what's been happening on the health front. And certainly in the US, you know, we've got Robert Kennedy Jr., who is going to be the health minister over there. So hopefully he's going to do some real good over there, which hopefully could spill out to the, other parts of the world. But there's certainly more people aware of the silencing and the injustice of what's happened over the last few years. So I've put another link to the World Council of Health, who are pushing for justice. They ask people to share their information. So please take a look and share if you can. What they're doing at the moment is really worth looking at. It's not, and it's very short, 3 minutes, I think. And we also have the Winter Solstice on the 21st of December, at the same time as the sun moves into Capricorn. So this is the shortest day in the Northern Hemisphere with the least amount of light. And in this chart, the sun aspects Neptune, which may well throw more confusion into the mix because that's what Neptune does. But there is a grand square between the Moon, Saturn, and Jupiter, Mercury. So this may cause an oversight or a distortion or exaggerated tales from far off lands. So this connects to the Jupiter Mercury and the Moon Saturn. Maybe there's a complete breakdown that needs some kind of corrective action, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's the solstice chart, and the rest of the month we'll go through now. So on the 2nd of December, Venus is in Capricorn and it's going to be trining Uranus in Taurus. So obviously a trine is good, but it really means you kind of want to be free in your relationships, but the other person also wants kind of the same thing. You can open up to new people and be willing to, make new friends, maybe go out more. Obviously, it's Christmas, so there's lots of Christmas parties. But it's a good time to make time for friends and any groups that you belong to. And you might, because it's Uranus, there might be unusual groups like astrology groups. So getting into something that's kind of away from the norm may be likely, or you may meet somebody that's untraditional. So on the 4th, Mercury is in Sagittarius and is opposite Jupiter in Gemini. So Mercury belongs in Gemini and Jupiter belongs in Sagittarius. So they're in each other's signs. There's a lot going on the 4th as we have 3 transits. And this transit can overwhelm you. It can be too much information, too much going on. And it's really easy to get lost, in your thoughts and let your mind wanders and all this things going on. So if you can, it'd be good to give your mind a break, maybe do some meditation, and give yourself time to be focused if you can. And the sun is also squaring to Saturn on that day. So something could be, this is a square, so it's a challenge. So somebody could be getting under your skin. You can feel frustrated, feel like you're not getting anywhere. Maybe you feel that you've got lots of responsibilities, lots of things to juggle. So if that happens, try to stop fixating on what's not working and focus on what's good. And then also we've got Venus sextile Neptune, which this is a sextile. So working with others can be helpful and you can do a lot for them as well. And compassion and empathy can help with this transit. So there's a lot going on the 4th. And also the sun is also conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius. So this can be, or you could have ideas to, plan something that you're excited about. And so that's good. It's a good transit to do that. And you could see results if you do start something, thinking about the new moon as well, in about a couple of months. On the 6th, Mars goes retrograde in the sign of Leo, uh, and this retrograde is in effect until February, so quite a long time. So obviously Mars is our energy, and if it's retrograde, it can make you get frustrated and irritated, because especially if you're a fire sign or you've got Mars in fire sign, then you might feel that, it, frustrated really. So it's important to have be aware of that, have a healthy outlet for, if you're upset, and try to do something creative if you can, or, some project or hobby, rekindle an old, hobby of some kind. And, just try to use the energy in a positive way, because sometimes if Mars is moves very fast, if your energy is too fast, then you make mistakes. So, let's look at the positive side, that it will hopefully it will help you plan better, because you won't be going off on a tangent. Let's have a cup of tea. Right. So what else? So we've got Mercury on the 6th. As well. It's going, what is it? It's in Sag, and it's squaring Saturn in Pisces. So that's not an easy transit. And you might feel like you don't want to do anything. Everything is overwhelming. So make sure, if you feel like that you take a break and you come back another day, because it'll feel really different on another day when this energy is lifted. On the 7th, we've got Neptune not is coming out of retrograde, which means that the fog that has been obscuring some of, you know, what you're looking at, over the last few months, once it's been retrograde, it's going to lift, it's going to clear. And so you can start to feel better, start to feel connected to your subconscious, your intuition, and your spiritual self. If you felt that you've been blocked, not everybody will feel the same, and not everybody will be aware of it. Venus also enters Aquarius on the 7th, and can help you connect with your friends. Venus is always about friendship, or any groups that you belong to. In love, you can really have a strong foundation of friendship, because that's important, and you can make changes in your relationships that are positive and help you grow closer. So that's good. And also on the 7th, sorry, we've got the Sun opposite Jupiter in Gemini. So this can make you like you don't want to do anything. Everything is too much like hard work. So take it easy and relax is what I think. And then we make a jump to the 12th, and Venus in Aquarius is opposite Mars in Leo. So you can be very passionate in your relationships, and you might, because this is an opposition, some people might annoy you. Who knows, because it is an opposition. But anyway, try to channel whatever energy you're feeling, try to channel the energy productively, really. And on the 13th, we've got Mercury sextiling Venus, and this means, because it's a sextile, that conversations can seem easier. You find the right words to, express yourself and make your point. You can communicate in a way that's different from usual. for maybe you, but it's very effective. So if you need something you need to say, the 13th would be a good day to do it. Okay. And on the 15th, Mercury is going to go direct again. So Mercury retrograde comes to an end, and you can start to feel you're getting back on track in some ways over the weeks leading up to Christmas. Mars is obviously still retrograde though, so you may not feel fully on track until that ends in February. But for now, work on opening up and letting yourself be more optimistic. I think that's kind of important. And also, we've got the full moon in Gemini, and I did talk about that. But with the Gemini full moon, you can sort through ideas, finalize plans, connect emotionally with your opinions. You can be more expressive and engaging, and words have more meaning for you. So look at the positive of this full moon and refer back to what I said about the chart earlier on in the video. And then on the 18th, the sun is still in Sagittarius, is square Neptune, still in Pisces. So your energy might be low on the 18th, and you need some time, to rest. Try to avoid pushing yourself too hard. Again, if you're feeling this on the 18th, I would definitely leave whatever you've got to do till the next day. Okay, because on the next day, the 19th, we've got Venus trining Jupiter. And so you can enjoy having new experiences with your loved ones because it's Venus, and you might get opportunities. You feel good about whoever you're with. Luck can be on your side because it's Jupiter. So enjoy the 19th and leave anything on the 18th till that day because it's a much better day. Okay. And then on the 21st, the sun enters the sign of Capricorn. We leave Sagittarius, and it ushers in the Capricorn season. Traditionally, it's a time to be ambitious, make progress, work hard. If you are a Capricorn, you're very hardworking and can be a workaholic. This is a cardinal sign, so can be very independent. Very often they have their own businesses. I know quite a few Capricorns, and they've all got their own business. They protect their family, and when it comes to money, they usually spend it wisely. But remember, Mars is retrograde though, so energy might be challenging at times. But if you can find a new way to motivate yourself and keep going, it would be good. You'll make progress. Remember, it's the Winter Solstice too on the 21st, which we covered earlier. Okay, and then the 24th, Jupiter is squaring Saturn. So that can be a difficult balance, balancing Jupiter with Saturn, because we've got this exact, and I've talked about it in the chart earlier. It's been in the chart, so of the full moon and the new moon. So it can be difficult, and you might feel you've got lots of responsibility, but it's Christmas Eve, so you probably feel that you've got hundreds of presents to wrap or still buy, who knows. But whatever. You might need to work through this, but it will be okay. It will be fine. And there's nothing particularly happening on the 25th, which is good. We've got a bit of a let off. And then if we go to the 26th, we've got the Mercury opposite Jupiter. So, yeah, I mean, again, you might have a lot going on in your mind. You might have a lot to resolve, work through. Who knows? I might have visitors, for Christmas, and that might give you a bit of a headache. Who knows? And just make sure that you don't say the wrong thing, because Mercury opposite Jupiter can go off on a tangent. So just watch it. Okay. And then the 27th, Mercury square Saturn. So there might be something that's stopped you from thinking, or maybe you've had some kind of mental block. But I think you'll be able to figure out the best way to move through it on the 27th. On the 28th, Venus is square Uranus. Challenges again in relationships can become more annoying. You may have to deal with unexpected situations with other people. It's about trying to be flexible and not being impulsive. And on the 30th, we have the second new moon. So it is in Capricorn. New moons, bring great energy. So, this should bring great energy for a new year. So you need to focus on your resolutions, set new goals for yourself. It's a new moon and the new year's coming. You can make great strides with uh, goals that you've been working on. Uh, and maybe you can do things in a different way and you can really go for it and it will be successful. So that's the 30th. So nothing on the 31st. And obviously I will come back with a new video for the new year. So the affirmation, hand on heart, to say every morning, 2025 will be a great year and I will experience love, joy and happiness. 2025 will be a great year and I will experience love, joy and happiness. So have a great Christmas, and I will see you on the 1st of January when I put my New Year video out. So take it easy. Try and keep your vibes high. Look at the videos. Please share if you can. And, spread the love. I think that's important. You know where I am. My website is astrologersue.com and I'm on Facebook, Astrologer Sue Fletcher, and obviously on YouTube. And have a great Christmas and stay safe, stay upbeat, stay positive, and bye for now. Bye bye.